So imagine you were driving a brand new, highly advanced car. Like the engine is incredibly powerful, the handling is flawless, but there is one glaring issue.
Let me guess. The GPS software hasn't been updated since what, 2012?
Exactly. It would constantly tell you to turn left into a field where a highway used to be.
Right, or, route you aggressively through the middle of a shopping mall that was built like 5 years ago.
Yeah. And the craziest part is you might just keep following it, even as your car is getting stuck in the mud.
Because it's the official GPS.
Right. It came with the car. But what if that outdated GPS is organized religion and the modern car represents today's highly educated youth?
Oh, that's a really interesting way to frame it.
Yeah. So welcome to today's deep dive. Today, our mission is to explore a really fascinating and honestly highly provocative lecture transcript from May 15th, 2026.
Which is centered around Buddha's birthday, right?
Yes, lunar April 8th. But, this text completely redefines the nature of spirituality, ghosts, and what it means to be a guide in our modern knowledge-based society.
Yeah, the sources promise a radical shift. It actually explains why some of our oldest institutions are pivoting from offering enlightenment to essentially acting as dating agencies just to survive.
It's wild. It doesn't just critique religion. It kind of rebuilds the whole concept of faith from the ground up, offering this unexpected blueprint for how to live today.
Right. And while the starting point is a specific holiday, the text really uses it as a springboard to diagnose this much larger crisis of meaning in the modern knowledge era.
Absolutely. So let's look at the facts. The numbers in the text illustrate this friction perfectly. Right now, 6 out of 10 people identify as having no religion.
Wow, 60%.
Yeah, and when you look at the 2030 generation, people in their 20s and 30s, the exodus is just staggering. 76% of people in their 20s and 71% in their 30s are non-religious.
I mean, that is a demographic cliff. These institutions are basically watching their future entirely evaporate.
Right, and I was reading how they're trying to stop the bleeding, and I just couldn't figure out the strategy.
What do you mean?
Well, the text highlights Catholic churches marketing themselves as, like, wedding hotspots
Oh, yeah.
and temples hosting literal dating programs. There's one called I Am Temple that remarkably matched 69 couples in just 2 years.
69 couples. That's actually pretty efficient.
It is. But, okay, let's unpack this. Why are ancient institutions, which were built on profound philosophical traditions, acting like event planners and matchmakers? Is this just putting a shiny Band-Aid on a gaping wound?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the text diagnoses this. It comes down to a loss of monopoly on truth.
Right.
For centuries, religious institutions held the monopoly on answers. If you wanted to understand history, the cosmos, morality, you had to go to the institution.
Because there was nowhere else to go.
Exactly. But today's youth are the most educated in human history. The speaker in the text actually refers to the past as the ignorant era.
The ignorant era.
Yeah, a time when people had to accept what they were told because they literally lacked the tools to verify it. But now, the internet has completely commodified information.
So they have all the facts in their pockets.
Right. The youth aren't just bored. They are asking fundamental questions like, what actually is religion? And the old institutions just don't have good answers anymore.
They can't answer the why effectively.
Exactly. Making these matchmaking efforts look hopelessly out of touch with the actual intellectual needs of the youth.
So because they can't compete intellectually, they just pivot to social utility.
Precisely. They are leveraging their real estate to provide social matching because they've lost the ability to make their theology meaningful to an educated crowd.
Wow.
The youth are searching for a coherent worldview, and the institutions are offering them basically a dating app.
That is a fundamental misdiagnosis of what people are starving for.
It really is.
But, if the institutions are offering community events instead of theological answers, it begs the question of what that theology is actually built upon.
And the transcript takes an absolute sledgehammer to that foundation.
It really does. The speaker addresses the concept of Buddha's birthday directly and states flat out, Buddha has never come.
Yeah, it's a very deliberate provocation. The text asserts that the specific date of Buddha's birthday is simply an arbitrary date set by an organizational cartel.
An organizational cartel. I mean, that implies a deliberate consolidation of power rather than, a divine revelation.
Right. The text argues that bureaucratic institutions needed a centralized day to rally the masses, collect resources, and really just solidify their authority.
So it's an administrative decision masquerading as a cosmic event.
Exactly.
And then the speaker poses this massive pragmatic question to the audience. They ask, if these divine figures, whether we are talking about God or Buddha, have been here for 2,000 to 3,000 years, why is the world still such a mess?
It's a harsh question, but fair.
Right. Like, why is living still so difficult? And here's where it gets really interesting. Think about it like a premium software subscription.
Okay, I like where this is going.
You've been paying for this productivity app for 3,000 years. The marketing promises it will organize your life, solve your problems. But millennia later, the app crashes daily, and your life is arguably more chaotic.
Yeah, you would naturally ask for a refund.
Hmm.
Or fire the developer and find a new tool.
Exactly. You certainly wouldn't keep paying the subscription fee and blaming yourself for the bugs.
But people have relied on these texts for thousands of years, so does the speaker think millions of people have just been, completely wrong?
Well, the expert analysis in the text frames it more as blind acceptance rather than just being wrong.
Going back to the ignorant era.
Right. During that era, society pointed to a statue or a book and said, this is the answer. And people accepted it because questioning wasn't an option.
Socially or intellectually?
Exactly. The text argues that no one actually taught humanity the true underlying meaning of these figures. They were only taught to revere them.
So it challenges you, the listener, to ask if you actually understand the concepts you revere or if you just accept them because society told you to.
Yeah, and the transcript gets incredibly specific about how this lack of understanding has warped our behavior.
How so?
It draws a very sharp distinction between two concepts. First, there is faith, which the text identifies with the Korean word shineng,
Okay.
and then there is religion, which is jongyo. According to the speaker, historically, humanity has only ever practiced faith.
And the text defines faith in a way that is distinctly unromantic, right?
Scary. It basically calls it begging. The text says, faith is what you do when you are weak, poor, or struggling. You find an unseen God, you drop to your knees, and you beg for help.
Wow.
Whereas religion, or jongyo, literally translates to great teaching.
That's a huge difference. It's the difference between asking for a handout and seeking an actual education.
Right. And the speaker insists that the era of faith is permanently over. We are now in a society of fully grown, educated adults.
And there's a warning here, too, isn't there?
Yes, a severe one. The text claims that if adults in this modern era continue to kneel and beg unseen spirits, they will face 100% hardship.
Because it goes against the law of nature.
Exactly. But so what does this all mean? How is someone supposed to find this great teaching, if not through faith?
Well, this raises an important question. The text points out that if you just want basic facts about Jesus or Buddha, you can find them instantly on the internet.
Right. The information's everywhere.
Exactly. So forcing belief in the modern era is seen as highly ignorant. Society has outgrown the need to beg.
So the purpose of a fully grown human isn't to ask for handouts from the divine.
No, it's to figure out what active role they must play in society. Kneeling is no longer a virtue, it's a regression.
Okay, so if we aren't supposed to be looking up at the sky and praying, where does the text direct our attention?
To the physical world, specifically to the human beings right in front of you.
Right. It claims that getting along with people in your immediate vicinity is the ultimate preventative measure against hardship.
Which is such a practical shift.
It is. But how does that mechanism work? Is it just about, being nice so people are nice back?
It's deeper than basic politeness. It's about the deliberate construction of social capital. When you focus your energy on understanding and supporting people around you, you build a resilient safety net.
I see.
Yeah, so when a financial or emotional crisis hits, that human network steps in to catch you. The hardship never reaches you because the human infrastructure you built deflects it.
So no supernatural intervention is required at all. It's a purely sociological defense mechanism.
Exactly, but then the text pivots and applies this exact same logic to the afterlife, which is mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. It drops a massive paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It claims that ghosts and spirits do not help us anymore. In fact, they rely entirely on us.
Which completely upends traditional Eastern thought.
Totally.
I mean, so much emphasis is placed on ancestor worship, offering food, and seeking blessings from the dead.
Right, but the text categorizes spirits after death into two distinct types. First, there are the sashin, or private spirits.
Okay, who are they?
These are spirits of people who lived only for themselves and their immediate families in life. And the text bluntly includes most of our parents in this category.
Oh, wow. That's direct.
Yeah. Because their focus was so narrow while alive, after death, they cling selfishly to their children. They can't truly help them.
And the second type?
The Gongshin, or public spirits. These are individuals who lived for the broad public good. Because they contributed to society, they detach from selfish ties after death and achieve true liberation.
Okay, wait, let me push back on this a bit.
Sure.
Aren't our ancestors supposed to be powerful guardians watching over us? Like, if they love us, why wouldn't they use their spirit power to clear our path?
Right. I've always heard that too. It's like, well, the best analogy I can think of is a helicopter parent.
Oh, supernatural helicopter parents.
Exactly. In life, a helicopter parent micromanages their child, obsessing over their immediate safety. But because their entire worldview is shrunk down to just their offspring, they lack the broad societal influence to actually help their child succeed in the wider world.
That makes perfect sense.
The text argues that in death, these private spirits are exactly the same. They hover and they cling, but they possess no actual power to influence the world. They are spiritually impoverished.
So when a highly educated adult goes to a grave and begs their ancestor for financial success,
It is a completely backwards dynamic. You
Yep.
have a capable, physically embodied adult begging a clinging, powerless ghost for a handout.
wow. The text argues that educated people who it actually calls social parents shouldn't be seeking help from ghosts.
Right. We have to do the heavy lifting.
We must live a public life of broad societal benefit so that when we die, we become Gongshin. We have to generate the power to help the spirits, not the other way around.
And stepping into that power, choosing to live that public life, is exactly how the text redefines the concept of Buddha.
Oh, this is the best part.
Yeah. After dismantling the historical timeline and the holiday, the text offers a new definition. A Buddha is not a single, mystical figure who lived thousands of years ago.
It's a role.
Yes. It is anyone who guides those who do not know and helps them find their way.
It really democratizes enlightenment. It transforms it from this unattainable divine status into an actionable responsibility.
And it scales up too. The text describes a great Buddha as someone whose teachings provide massive public benefit, which it calls Yigwagyungik.
Yiguanggongik, meaning broad public benefit that lasts for generations.
Exactly. If you provide that level of guidance, you are a great Buddha. But the text also points out that the concept of a guide has had to evolve alongside humanity.
Right, it outlines three distinct phases of guides, doesn't it?
It does. Teachers, mentors, and masters. The first phase is teachers. This was for the early evolutionary phase of humanity, teaching only those physically in front of them in local regions.
Right. If we use an analogy, the teacher is the person who teaches you the alphabet and basic grammar. You need it to function, but it doesn't tell you what to say.
Yeah, good analogy. Then, as humanity entered a growth phase, we needed mentors. Mentors teach us how to navigate the complexities of society, how to interact, build a career.
So the mentor teaches you how to use that grammar to write a persuasive essay or how to, draft a resume.
Exactly. They teach you how to operate within the existing system. But finally, we reach today, the fully grown knowledge society.
And the text says that for this era, once you have learned all you can from mentors, you must seek a master.
Or Susung in Korean.
Right. So what does the master do that the mentor doesn't?
It's like leveling up in an RPG. You can't rely on the tutorial guide when you reach the end game of the knowledge society. You need the grandmaster.
Ah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, a mentor teaches you how to win at the current game. A master teaches you what the game is actually for.
Exactly.
They teach you how to transition from a private, successful life to a public life of broad societal benefit, how to reach your ultimate societal potential.
And this brings us right back to the outdated GPS in the modern car. The institutions haven't leveled up with the people.
Right. The population is living in the knowledge era. They already know the alphabet. They have internet access. They are desperate for masters who can offer great teaching.
But the institutions are still stuck in the teacher phase, offering tutorial-level blind faith.
Telling adults to kneel and beg unseen spirits.
And when that fails, they pivot to dating apps.
It's a profound mismatch. The people are ready for masters, but the established cartels just aren't providing them.
Which really brings us to the core realization of this deep dive. We started by looking at a lecture about a specific holiday, and we uncovered a total blueprint for living in the modern world.
The era of blind faith is dead.
It really is. True spirituality in a hyper-connected knowledge era is fiercely practical. It isn't about looking up at the sky and begging ghosts.
It's about looking directly at the people in front of you, treating them right, building social capital, and striving to become a guide for others.
Moving from a private existence to a public one.
Yeah.
So we want to challenge you, the listener, to evaluate your own life.
Yeah, take a hard look at your operating system.
Are you still kneeling and begging in some aspect of your life? Waiting for a magical fix instead of doing the work to connect with the people immediately around you?
Are you living purely as a private entity, or are you striving toward the public good?
That's a big question.
It is, and as you think about that transition, I want to leave you with a final thought concerning the text's concept of the final master.
Oh, yeah. This is crucial.
We live in an internet age where absolutely everyone has a microphone. Our feeds are just saturated with so-called mentors, life coaches, and influencers, all selling their own brands of truth.
It's an ocean of noise.
Exactly. So in that environment, how do you distinguish a true master, someone offering genuine great teaching for massive public benefit, from just another charismatic leader trying to build a brand new cartel?
Wow. That is the ultimate question for the knowledge era. Because if you aren't careful, you might just find yourself following another outdated GPS, driving yourself right into a wall, just because the voice on the app sounded confident.
Definitely something to mull over the next time you're scrolling through your feed.
For sure. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Keep questioning, keep connecting, and we'll catch you next time.